Who wins? Everyone lose. Everyone lose. No one wins. My house was burned at 5 o'clock in the morning. I never have in my mind or in my heart or in my head that the Muslim people will be attacked by the Christian. I never imagined that before. Honestly, all Muslim never thinks about that. But that is the big question for us, why it happens. We do nothing for Christian people.
Ambon, capital of the fabled Spice Islands, which once provided the world with highly prized nutmeg and cloves. A place of tranquility and tolerance between the majority Christians and Muslims. But the peaceful past has been shattered. The road from Ambon's airport is littered with the scars of religious violence. It's dangerous to travel without armed guards. In the last 2 months, an estimated 3,000 houses have been torched. 200 people have died, and there are real fears that fighting could flare up at any time. For a generation, President Suharto kept tight control over religiously diverse Indonesia. The power vacuum in his absence could be the reason places like Ambon are falling apart. The question is whether what's happening here signals a deadly breakdown between religions. The village of Benteng Atas is the latest flashpoint. We arrived to find the smouldering houses of Muslims. Revenge, according to Christians, for a Muslim bomb attack.
They are evil. They want to start an Islamic state. They want to change the province into an Islamic country.
These Christians have assembled a crude but deadly arsenal of weapons from whatever they can find. Across a no-man's land of burnt-out houses are their rivals, the Muslims. The Muslims are suspicious of all outsiders. We are told we can't enter their stronghold. For generations, followers of the two faiths have lived side by side. Now neighbours have become sworn enemies. Without notice, the rampage begins again. There are innocent victims on both sides. Kichi Pelopesi is a Christian but lives with her 5 children on the Muslim side of the village. She knows it's time to get out. It's only a matter of time before her house becomes a target of revenge.
Justru itu lebih baik saya hindari daripada saya nanti mati konyol di sini.
I would prefer to leave rather than die. I have nothing here. I had a small business, but it stopped because of the rioting.
These are Muslim refugees who have already fled to Ambon's Grand Mosque. There are almost 3,500 people living here. Many originally come from the island of Sulawesi, settling on Ambon as trans-migrants during the 1980s. They were promised a place of harmony, not a place of hate and revenge.
All these people are homeless, their houses have been burned. We're here without jobs, without money, and there are many children to take care of. It's difficult.
There's desperation at the Ambon dock as thousands try to flee. The simple solution for these people is to return to Sulawesi. Their meagre possessions are dragged up the side, the last reminders of their ordeal.
I can forgive, but never forget, maybe for 3 or 4 generations.
I hope that we can resolve it all, and we can live in reconciliation, and we can live together, so harmony again. I hope that.
The arrival of 3,000 fresh troops has had little effect in stopping the violence. In Ambon City, Marines patrol the worst affected neighbourhoods, those where revenge attacks have taken place and where violence is ready to boil over again.
This is the religious battle line. This church behind me is full of refugees, people who fled the violence. This is the no man's land which separates them from their Muslim neighbours. The devastation here is almost complete.
Those who have fled to the downtown Silo Church have had their lives turned upside down. On 2 consecutive nights, the church was bombed as fighting raged on the street outside. As the death toll rises, Ambonese society is becoming increasingly divided. The majority Christian community has been accused of ethnic cleansing, the Muslims of declaring a holy war. Unless the government and its troops can halt the violence, there are fears that a nation in social and political turmoil could simply blow apart. The message is loud and clear to President B.J. Habibie as he heads towards crucial general elections in 3 months' time. Perhaps only Ambon's religious leaders can call a halt to the carnage. In the village of Benteng Atas, Christian youths are on a rampage. This is revenge, they say, for a Muslim bomb attack. For generations, followers of the two faiths have lived side by side. Now neighbours have become sworn enemies. These were Muslim houses. The Christians admit setting them alight, but only after they were driven from their own dwellings.
They burnt our houses and threw bombs, so what can we do?
On the island of Ambon, almost 2 months of fighting has claimed 200 lives. Despite the arrival of 3,000 troops, the battle continues. The burning of churches and mosques only adding to the outrage. As the anger and desire for revenge grows, men from both sides have assembled a crude but deadly arsenal of weapons from whatever they can find. This old man is the last line of defence in the village church in Benteng Atas. On a nearby hill, a mosque has become a Muslim fortress.
This is the religious battle line. The Christians on this side are armed and ready, but they know if they cross this point in their own village, they could be shot or speared by the Muslims.
It's impossible to visit the Muslim stronghold. There's suspicion of outsiders. People are still recovering from the shock of this latest attack. At Ambon's Grand Mosque, there are more than 3,000 refugees from burnt-out villages. Their spiritual leader is calling for calm and praying for peace.
I never have in my mind or in my heart or in my head that the Muslim people will be attacked by the Christian. I never imagined that before.
Christian leaders are looking for reconciliation.
We must try. We must try and try to forgive our, let us say, brother, sister, Muslim brothers.
There's desperation at the dock. Thousands are fleeing Ambon. These mainly Muslim immigrants from the island of Sulawesi tried to make Ambon their home. Now, as their meagre possessions are dragged up the side, they make their escape. Mark Bowling, ABC News, Ambon.